Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Must Love Yarncast.
How are you?
We're back. Kind of like we said we were going to. We're
right on time.
Scheduled. Right on time.
That's the way I like to look at it.
To a variety of things. So this is a Yarncast about yarn and knitting and sometimes crocheting and fiber related things that we bring you from our yarn store in Shelburne, Vermont, where we sell many of the things we're going to talk to you about today. Some not so much because sometimes we knit out of our stash. So, and you can find the store out on all platforms of social media as Must Love Yarn. And we have all of those linked in our show notes as well. And I'm Angela.
I'm Jen.
And you can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Blue Sky as Junior Bird Kid.
Oh, boy. I am on Ravelry as J. Arbuckle, Instagram as Jennifer _Arbuckle, and I don't remember the Blue Sky one. It was I had to do something weird with my, I can find it.
She's on it.
It's J dash, not underscore, dash Arbuckle at bsky.social. I guess if I could come up with some sort of catchy little name, I could just change all of them to one thing, but that's too complicated.
Too complicated. So, welcome.
And now you can also find me at all the Bobolink yarn stuff.
That's true.
Hiding in the background.
We should put those in too.
Well, yeah.
Bobolink
Yarns.
Cross promotion here.
That's right.
So welcome. We like to start our Yarncast with our Yarncast pick. And so the way this works is we're going to talk to you about a yarn. Usually, sometimes it's a new yarn, sometimes it's a yarn we haven't shown in a while. And then for a period of time following the Yarncast airing, and we have not talked schedules yet, so I don't know how long.
Let's say 2 weeks.
Okay, we'll do 2 weeks. Sounds good. You can get 10% off online or in store with the code that we give you after we talk about that yarn. So,
and I was like, we have 3. What are we talking about?
I think we're going to do this one, and we'll talk about those other ones just as introduction. So This is a new to us yarn.
Queensland Eco Twist, which is a green vegan blend of Eco Vero recycled cotton and natural linen. It's really nice.
So for those of you who are starting to think about spring and summer and warmer weathers, or if you live in a climate where you haven't had the frozen tundra weather that we've had here, where we're clearly still wearing wool and sweaters and all of the things.
Although this week is supposed to be like in the 50s again, which is...
But it's sugaring season, right? So this is going to happen, and then it's going to like plummet again. It will probably be another big snowstorm because that's kind of the way things have been going this year. So, which is exciting. So we have 4 different colors of this Eco Twist. We also have a sample.
The ability to get more. And some of the colors are very subtle. Like this is kind of rainbowy in a very soft kind of way.
I'm sure that's this one.
Yeah,
looks
I
like
think so too.
It's knit up.
Yeah.
We
nice.
don't have that one in stock, but any of these we can get. So if you see one and you're like, I want that one, this really nice like purpley pink one, the purpley one, that blue one we do have.
We have this one.
That one.
Yeah, it's nice to see the little sort of nubs that have the color.
That teal one we do not have, but I like that one a lot.
Yeah, we might have to add to our pile of
that green one.
Called Sea Algae. They have good names.
There's this like light tan one. Yeah. There's this darker brown one, which I think is that one.
Which is Carbon Twilight. They all have eco names.
And then this, which is kind of like grays and browns. That's actually really nice as well.
Yeah.
Really pretty.
Yeah.
So these retail for $15.99.
And they're 100 grams. Like sport weight, I want to say.
Yeah, 273 yards. So definitely a sport weight.
Yeah, number 2 on the scale.
Yep. US 3s to 5s for knitting needles and US E4s through 7s for crochet hooks.
Yeah, and the fiber breakdown is 20% linen, 35% cotton, and 45% viscose, which is their Eco Vero. So it's a recycled fiber, I would say.
Yeah. So it feels nice.
Yeah, it feels really nice. It has super nice drape.
And, cotton and linen are some of those fibers that, like, the more it's washed, the softer it gets.
Yeah.
But this also already feels really pretty soft and
the
nice.
The viscose that's there gives it sort of that white
sheen.
Yeah, a little sheen, and it's a really nice.
It's actually really nice. Now I want to make a.
I know.
Top.
It's like, oh, summer T-shirts. It's hard for me to imagine since I've been cold. But,
I am like loving this teal color. We need to get some of that in.
And also this one that has like the brighter.
Yeah, the brighter rainbow ones. Yeah. I like both of those a lot.
This one is nice though. This is the one we do have that.
I like this one too with the gray and the browns, like really neutral. Anyway, so if you are,
we're placing an order in case you're wondering. So
Jen and I are putting in special orders. So $15.99, and I think we can do the code YP Eco just to make it short and sweet. So that would be 10% off for 2 weeks. So let me get dates for everybody. So that would be 3/14.
Yeah, through the 28th.
Through 3/28.
So basically till the end of the month.
Yep. Why don't we just make it through the end of the month?
Sure.
We'll give you a few extra days.
Right.
So through the end of March.
Which puts us almost into April. So if you're starting to think summer, this is your yarn.
Now's the time. Yeah. Like this would be a
it's perfect for summer
great
stuff.
Little tee.
Or even if you're just looking for a wrap or something, it would be really lovely because the drape would be so nice.
You know what you could make this out of? You know what you could this would make a really awesome rocket tee, but without the striping.
Yeah.
So to just because that silhouette's that nice V, it's got like a nice shape down the sides. Yeah. That would make a really cute rocket tee. You could definitely use this yarn. You probably would only need 2 skeins.
And there's enough neutral in some of these that you could do some stripes. Like
you could do stripes.
You could do just subtle one. They would be really subtle, which would be nice also.
That would be interesting. And so, I mean, depending on what size you're making, you would need one of each color, but it's not a huge investment for yarn for the project.
No, I mean, especially with your 10% discount.
Yeah. So you do need to use the code if you're shopping in store. So it's not an automatic discount that would apply to this yarn. So you would need to tell whoever is checking you out that this was the yarn cast pick and that's why you're buying it. Otherwise, they won't give that discount. So
it's only for those in the know.
Not for everybody. Got to know the things.
That's right.
So we hope you enjoy that. And I think if you saw one of those other colors and you just fell in love with it, I think we could figure out how to make that work if you wanted to place the order and pay for that yarn and wait for us to get that in. I would honor that because I think, we only have a few colors, but there's definitely so many other options here. So that would probably require you to call or email the store. If there was another color on that scarf that you really wanted. But I think we could sort that out for folks. Because this is kind of a cool yarn.
Especially when you sort of hold it back, you can sort of see how heathery and pretty it is.
That so much.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm kind of eyeing this red. I like the red.
Yeah. That is nice.
Nice to wear under things in the summertime.
Yep. Totally.
Raspberry.
Yep. So.
All right.
So, Jen, what are you wearing today?
Oh, I think it's called Time Makes You Bolder. It's like a poncho wrap thing. And, of course, I didn't look it up because...
Well, she's looking her poncho up. I can tell you that I am wearing the Sweetie Tweety. Actually, I think it's just called Sweetie. I call it Sweetie Tweety because I made it out of tweed. But I think the actual sweater... Oh, no, it is called Sweetie Tweety. Sometimes when you name things, you're like...
Right. I don't always use it's to the point now where I kind of do use a pattern name because but I used to make names up and then I found out it's harder to find them when you do that. So.
But also, I could have seen me knowing that the pattern's name was Sweetie, calling it Sweetie Tweety because I knitted out of Tweety yarn, but the pattern is actually called Sweetie Tweety. It's by Chris Berlin. This is Wool to Nosh DK tweed, which she doesn't sell her solids anymore. But yeah, it's got a lot of really cool just details, short color. That's the same detail as mimicked here.
Oh yeah.
On the side.
It's funny, you don't notice it till you're sitting right down next to it.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So just, you know,
nice
really,
shape.
it's a nice shaped cardigan. I like it. It's a nice midweight for a day like today where you want some warmth.
Yeah, It Is Time Makes You Bolder by Mary Annabella. Like Annabella with an R instead of a B. And I made this out of a mixture of yarns. It's made with Taki Yarns Alden, which they don't make anymore. So it's like a sport weight, and then Solitude Wool, which also is no longer in business. But we're down in Virginia, maybe. I bought the yarn at Rhinebeck one year. So, the stripy, or the mixy color, and the beigey color, mushroomy color, are the Solitude, and the Alden is this teal color. It's not striped, but I made it striped.
Nice.
Because I made it up, I think. Maybe it was partly striped, I don't know. Anyway, it was a really fun, interesting construction. You start with like a triangle shawl, and then you build out the sides on either side of that, and then you seam it on the others. So it makes an interesting shape. It's kind of not your normal triangle, rigid poncho shape. But
nice.
Anyway, I love it, and I wear it a lot. Actually, I get a lot of comments on it. Oftentimes, I'll wear it to work over like a blouse, and so you can wear it with jeans, or you can dress it up.
Dress it up or dress it down.
Yeah.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep. That's it.
So I have one finished object with me.
I think I have one total, and I can't remember if this was finished last time.
It was not.
Okay, good. I have a finished object.
I have actually two. One was that kaleidoscope cardigan that I was talking about and showing yarn on.
The little one?
The one the one where you hold 3 strands of worsted together, the bulky weight one.
Oh, yeah.
So the cardigan's done.
Wow.
And I
made because it was bulky.
Super fast. I made the decision to block it yesterday because it needed to be blocked. Completely disregarding what would happen when 3 strands of superwash yarn hit water and then have to dry. So it is not dry. It's not even close to being dried.
Did you like it before you put it in the water?
It needed to grow a little bit.
So which it probably will. So.
Which I know it did. So it needed to...
Does it need to ungrow a little bit now?
I don't know. It might. And if that's the case, it will go in the dryer.
Yeah.
The actual dryer. So I am still going to mark it on the whips and not move it up. So when we come next time, I'll bring it and show it.
You might have an end to weave in or something.
No, all the ends are woven in. Wow. Like I did all the things.
It's like really done.
It's really done.
So.
Except it's not here because it's too wet. It's not even just damp. Like it is still wet, even though it's right next to the wood stove.
But it's just damp out.
Yeah, it's
oddly.
So that one is done, but I don't have it to show.
Okay. All right. Well, I did finish my cloud drift towel.
Woohoo!
So
nice.
Actually, it's nice. I actually just seamed it this morning to make it like really finished.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's actually good. I was afraid it was going to be a little tight around the neck, but it's actually not. It's actually kind of perfect.
Huh. Yeah. No, that looks good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's
so
fun.
Yeah, these are older Bobolink yarns, plus a little Ariel. Which is a Barocco mohair held with the cream color. So, but the others. So it's a nice. I love the pattern on this. I could see knitting some more because
I was thinking
it's very intuitive, and it'll probably live. It might live in the store here. Well, I have to look and see what we have in stock for Bobolink.
Right. Whether it makes sense.
Yeah, to have it live here or not, but it knits up nicely, and and it's fuzzy, but you still You only hold the mohair with the main color
Okay.
and not with the other colors, so they sort of bounce out a little bit. But
Yep.
it's very architectural. That's why I like the
It's
design.
nice.
And mosaic knitting, so it's kind of mindless. You just keep going.
Yeah,
So,
I love mosaic
yeah.
knitting.
So it's nice. It's nice and cozy, actually.
I do want to show people that I did
Yeah.
actually weave in the ends and seam this thing.
Yeah.
So it's the knitting on it's been done for like ages.
But it's now a finished object.
Now, fully finished
That's
object.
awesome.
The top is a little tight, but
Oh, really?
that's because
yeah. Is that the edge or is it a cast?
It's a
I-cord edge.
It's an I-cord edge, and it's directly related to me. Look, you can see what it's doing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
When you're wearing it, does it bother you?
I can't put it over this way. I have to put it over
Straight down.
Straight down.
But then once it's on.
When it's on, it's fine. It's the taking on and off.
And it doesn't also like roll out like
no,
that.
it doesn't
so
roll out.
That, which is
so
kind
it
of good.
does suck in on my neck, which I really like.
Mm-hmm. It looks cool.
So thank you.
Yeah.
It was fun to knit.
These bandana things are honestly where it's at. I think sometimes
it's so much more
not
convenient.
have something falling off of you all the time. Although I did find those magnet holders that we bought 2 years ago at Rhinebeck, and I used it for something.
Was it awesome?
I was like, oh my God, why has this been sitting on a shelf?
You know what? That would work for this cardigan.
Yeah.
Right? To just pin this cardigan closed.
That Veronica sweater wrap thing that I made a few years ago, that's what I think I used it for. And it's like this big sort of shapeless, drapey kind of thing. And it is perfect to just sort of hold it. Yeah. And it held it closed all day.
Yeah.
It was good.
I need to bust that out. I was going to say, I don't think I do know where
My house is chaos right now, and I went looking for a shawl pin, and I was like, I think there's some, like, if I crawl over this box into the craft room, which is full of all the living room furniture, and I made it in there, and the only one I could find was that, and I was like, oh, right, that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're right, though. That would be the perfect closure for this sweater.
And it held all day.
Yeah.
I mean, it held.
It would. It's a really super strong magnet.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so I'm going to take this off. But anyway, that's... It is for like on off. If you're going someplace where you're going to be taking your coat on and off a lot, like this probably is not the cowl, but it does like suck in the top. Yeah. So that's an official finished object, finally done. I finished the Caltopus. Howltopus.
I saw.
Did you guys see?
Look at you with your fancy brioche stitching.
Let me tell you about brioche stitching.
It's been years. I keep wanting to do it again, but it's been years. Is it just at the bottom? Is the whole thing brioche?
Nope, just the bottom.
Where the pattern is.
I cannot fix a mistake with brioche.
Well, no one can really.
So I dropped a stitch in the fancy part up here. Tried to fix it, like it was not gonna happen. So then I tried to pull back to the straight brioche, still couldn't pick up the knit. So this brioche section got knit twice, basically, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it's a lot of good practice for brioche.
Yeah.
So I feel much more comfortable with the brioche knitting portion of it. But yeah, trying to fix a mistake, I was like, oh no, this is not, I don't even know how the stitch got dropped.
Well, you've got like that backward forward thing going all the time.
No, I know.
So
it was in one
enough.
of those places, but then just the inability to pick it up down the road. So I'm going to put this on. Yeah. I feel very like Jedi.
Jedi warrior. There you go. Yeah. But nice and warm.
Anyway. Yes, very nice and warm. But also, you can wear it like...
Right, like a cowl.
Like a cowl, just like this.
Bust out the fancy part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I finished it, I put it on, I was sitting in my knitting chair with this like hood on. Family was like, what is happening? My husband walked by, he's like, are you feeling okay? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. He was like, what? I was like, just
Oh boy.
So anyway, so this is knit with magpie fibers. The brown is their color. It's a swanky DK. It's got some cashmere in it. The brown color is spicy beaver, and the gray is their queen beaver. It actually has some of the sort of brown rust color in that. So it's a fun color combination. Not sort of my normal palette.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to, give something else a try, and I am now.
No, it's soft too.
Probably, super
right?
soft.
Yeah.
I haven't blocked it, so it'll get softer.
Yeah.
But the brioche, I was digging that. I want to go knit some more brioche now. It's super squishy and soft, and now having done this,
I can't decide whether it'd be nicer if it was here where you would see it more. You know what I mean?
Well, but I think the idea is for when you have it up,
that
you see that brochure. I feel like maybe this should have been long. I should have made this a little longer. But I don't know. I like it. It's fine. It'll be nice for when it's cold out.
Yeah.
When I don't go outside because it's cold.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a good segue.
So that one's done.
Is that it for FOs?
Yeah, that's it for me.
So that we can segue into my hood as my first whip. Not that I have 100 of them. There's only 2. But so I was doing the hood Ola, which is this guy. And so 2 things. One, I didn't really read the yarn requirement very well. In my head, I found it, the pattern is very well written, but the beginning part is a little unclear.
Does that one have you do
the provisional cast? Yes.
The Judy's Magic cast on
for the
top part?
Yes. So that part was whatever. Somehow I looked at the yarn I used, and I didn't really look at the line above it, which says how much yarn you need. So anyway, in my brain, I was like, oh, it's only going to be 1 skein, maybe half of another one. But as it turns out, it's really going to be more than that. So, so I do think that too. And I had 2, the dark purple and the lighter purple, which were in my Bobolink stash. So it's really fine. I just did the transition when I ran out of purple. I just started with the lighter purple. So that, and then I just started the ribbing.
Okay.
So the hood itself is essentially done, and now I'm in the round, and I have 7 inches of ribbing to do. So I feel like there'll be enough. Wow, sorry. I still have quite a bit of this.
Well, or you just have to bust out a third.
There'll be some white stripes at the bottom or something like that. So I'm not going to put it on because I can't get it.
Right, because the
needles are so tight. But it's pretty good. It has an I-cord edge on it as well, so it's curling in a little bit. But I think it's pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of the point.
Yeah, I don't know how you avoid that though. With
the only way to do it would have been to do some decreases, or to get to here and then increase out there. But anyway, it's fine. But yes, this is the top where it's provisional, whatever. Very cranky cast on. I don't know why it makes me so cranky, but it does. And plus you have to cast on 130.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
It's
it's a lot.
I was I have no idea how many stitches there are here. I'm just gonna glue them together. I was close. I was within 1 or 2. I did count. But you're basically just wrapping yarn.
As soon as you stop to count, you lose your rhythm for the cast on, and you're like, "Where? What now? Now, which way was I going?"
Oh my god! Oh, Judy. But meanwhile, it's this lovely seamless.
It's lovely seamless.
It's fine.
Lovely.
Yeah, and also I was like, is this one forwards or backwards, or is this twisted or not? There might be 1 or 2 twisted.
Can I just say when I did mine as well? I did not read the instructions carefully.
Yeah.
And so I started...
Oh, yours starts at the top too?
No, this one starts at the top too. I started it in the round, and then I was like, why?
I was like, why isn't this in the round? And then 20 minutes later, I was like, oh,
poured on both sides.
Yeah.
in the round. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I went back and looked at the picture and I was like, because you need the opening for your face. So you start, this is the cast on right here. And this part is all knit back and forth.
Yes, which is confusing also. But once you get through that,
if you actually read the directions, it makes sense.
it does. Once I went back and read them, of course, it's in the evening at like after 8:00 when I'm trying to do this.
You need to read all of the words in the directions, not just skim them.
I know what
you mean. I know what's happening here because clearly I did not know what was happening.
My I-cord is weak at that juncture because I was like, what is going on here with like the forwards and the backwards and the whatever? Yeah. And I didn't understand that I was making an I-cord so it'll be fine.
I ripped out a couple times because I was like,
I refused. Once I got all those stitches on my needles, I was like, we are going to make this work.
This is going to happen.
Because I am not casting on any more stitches.
No.
So yeah, I'm excited about it though, actually. And it feels nice and it's not cushy like yours, but it's
just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sport weight.
Yep.
This is Border Leister.
Nice.
Also from a few years ago, batch of Bobolink.
Nice.
So yeah.
Awesome.
In my stash.
Nice.
I love these colors, so I'm excited about it.
That is fun.
Yeah.
I have like a number of different whips. I'm trying to decide which ones I actually want to talk about.
I only have one more, so.
I'm gonna give a quick update on my traveling socks here. So I have one sock totally done.
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
almost.
Yeah, really good progress on this one. So heels turned.
Boston, right?
This is actually no, I did not knit
it's hard
a huge amount
Yeah.
on this in Boston because I think I was like in this getting ready to start the zone. This was I was at a basketball game Friday night, varsity girls game for Mount Abe. I didn't have a kid playing, so I was not as crazy watching, but could just stand and knit. So a lot of this was there. The heel, actually the heel flap and the heel turn and the gusset was from town meeting.
Yeah. This was most of this hood was from last weekend actually. The big. So I cast it on before I left, and then I did most of it.
So I really kind of want to get that sock finished so I can cast on another one. It's not. I just have it's like a skein pile up of woolens and Nash yarn in my house right now, and I'm like, I gotta use some of this yarn. So that's update on that. I have two whips that people have not seen at all that are brand new.
One of mine is brand new. The remaining one is brand new. I did talk about it a little bit.
I'll talk about that
as an idea that I was going to consider. And then I just did it.
All right, so I have a half finished object.
Oh.
Well, kind of half. So these gloves actually are lined. So there still is a lining that needs to happen.
Those are pretty.
For this one. Thank you. So this is the Northman.
I love knitting those kind of mittens, actually. They're a little fussy, but they're
super fussy.
But they look so. But once you're in it, it's all chart reading.
It is all chart reading,
and then they're so impressive. Like when they're done, people are like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god!"
Look how pretty they are.
So this one's totally done. The second one is cast on, and I'm like right in this zone right there. And then
are you knitting the inside or no?
Yeah, I will. I'll do the inside.
Like a fingering weight. What
this is worsted. Knit on really small needles, as you do with mittens.
Yes.
And then I have for the lining. It's my bag of. Oh, there's so much yarn in this bag.
I just dumped mine on the couch before I came here and put in the three things that I knew I was going to talk about.
This whole bag is just filled with like leftover bits and bobs of stuff.
My contractor, while you're pulling that out, my contractor was explaining to the guy that works for him, or no, he brought his daughter over last weekend to pick up a freezer that I was giving to them. And he was like, yeah, so she owns the yarn store and his daughter like crochets or something. He's like, there's just yarn everywhere in this house.
So this is the lining.
Oh,
this is nice. The Burrico alpaca So it's like an alpaca, super soft. It's like a DK, sport DK.
Yeah. Those would be
weight
nice and warm.
yarn. Yeah, that's what I figured. And, with the nice contrast color. But yeah, this is worsted. This is Barocco, like ultra wool. I think ultra wool or Onk vintage. The white I think is ultra wool, and the purple is maybe vintage. Anyway, it's a weight. So anyway, super fun. I've got the cuff started on the second one.
My experience is once I've knit one, I'm like, wow, that was a lot of work. I like knitting mittens generally, but mittens are better for me than socks because I'm always happy to knit the second one. But when it's like that kind of chart work, you're like, oh, I got to go do that all again.
You do have to do it all again. I feel like the second one always goes faster because you have a sense of like, this is where the pattern goes and here's the rhythm.
And you figured out the thumb, which is always a wonky bit on some of this.
So it was more, I needed a break from reading the chart.
Yeah.
But I'll come back to it. All right, so Northman mittens, they're pretty cool. Check them out. It's a fun pattern if you're looking for some color work. So do you want to talk about yours, and then I can talk about my other?
So last time we were talking about Thea Coleman hats.
Yeah.
And so I had seen the Boston Bobcat. We talked about it a little bit last time.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I love that cable pattern. So I went digging through my newly acquired Bobolink stash.
You're like, what do I have that's bulky yarn?
And that also is like, it's not bulky, it's worsted weight, actually. Yeah, this is a Romney twist that we don't actually have here, but some of the other stores do. And it's a nice neutral gray.
That's nice.
So, yeah, it's pretty fat. I cast this on earlier this week, and, it's mostly just ribbing, and the cabling is part of that. So it's going pretty fast, actually, but it's fun. And I wanted a color that would show the cable once it's all done. Right now it's all bunched up, so it's a little hard to see, but through one round of the cable, I think.
Nice.
Actually, is that the inside or the outside?
You're like, what is going on here?
That's the inside. I was trying to figure out why there's a stitch marker in there. I don't know.
It doesn't really get flipped around?
It could have. I think it's reversible, so it really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, yeah. I think it's the same on both sides, but who knows?
Nice.
No, the yarn is on the right side here, so.
Who knows?
Oh, I think the stitch marker went through. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I think that was to remind me when I started the cable patterning chart. Okay. Anyway, should be fun. It's nice and warm, woolly, but it's soft. Wool,
yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So I had bought some Lion Brand yarn, I don't know, a year ago maybe, that was supposed to be a sweater for Little Miss Abigail. And I finally was like, I need to just deal with this situation. So she and I sat and looked through Ravelry for quite a period of time. Girlfriend definitely knows what she likes, what she doesn't like. And so she wanted a cardigan. She wanted a cardigan with 2 buttons. It was very specific.
Which can be accommodated from many patterns, but maybe not at first glance.
That's fine. She did not. This has a little ruffle at the bottom. No ruffle. So I was like, no, we can fix that. That's fine. Do you like the rest of the shape? So she liked this Highland sweater. This is a Heidi Mae pattern. I've knit other patterns, the Cove cardigan and stuff. So this is what she settled on, and so I immediately cast it on.
Right, in this lovely neutral color, and
here's the yarn we have for what she
cacophony of color.
So this is mandala ombre.
The ruffle isn't terrible.
No, it's not
Barely
terrible.
ruffled.
She didn't want it, so
fine.
we just left it off. I had her try this on this morning, so this length is good. So I got to figure out what I'm doing for the edging. I might just do like a garter stitch edge, I think.
Yeah. What do the sleeves have on them?
I think garter stitch.
Yeah.
Looks like garter stitch.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'll do a little bit of a garter stitch edge on this. Then I need to do the sleeves. I am gonna keep the striping sequence. So I have multiple skeins of this. This is like 150 gram skeins, and I'm just into like the second of them, and I have like 2 others. I don't know why I thought I needed like 450 gram skeins for a small person sweater. Probably because I knew I needed to deal with the stripes.
Yeah.
So we'll have to go pull yarn to, and then figure out if I'm going to break the stripes or if I'm going to let it be bigger block stripes on the sleeves, which I haven't decided yet.
And you'll end up with lots of little bits of yarn,
which I don't really want to deal with. So they may just have to be big color blocks on the sleeves. And then, it's, pick up and knit.
Or you could, again, very annoying because lots of ends. You could do one sleeve and then the next, you would use it for the second sleeve if you split it in half. You know what I mean? And they might be pretty close to the right.
Yeah.
But maybe not quite as big as if you did the whole color.
Yeah. No, I know. And I think, these are like, once I divided, these are like 12 row blocks. So I don't know. I may keep that. We'll see.
I just was thinking that like that's kind of a sleeve, and it would be too.
Right.
They would be a little deeper even if you split it each color in half. But but at least it wouldn't be wasted. You wouldn't end up with lots of weird chunks anyway.
Yeah, I don't really care about. So we'll see how that goes. I may knit one without doing that one sleeve and then show her and say, what do you think? And if she's like, that's fine, then I'm like golden. But if she's like, no, I want it to match, then I can go back and figure it out. So, but this was fast. I cast this on like Monday. Just worsted weight yarn, lots of stockinette stitches. So then when that's done, she'll stop asking me, where's my sweater? Because she will every once in a while ask me, where's my sweater? So
what yarn is that?
It's the Mandala Ombre.
Oh, okay. Is it
it's
like
a Lion brand.
Is it acrylic or
yeah, it's acrylic.
Soft.
100% acrylic. Skein, washable.
Yes, of course.
Washable and
no, it just felt soft and it doesn't feel like
it doesn't feel like acrylic. But it is.
Nice.
So yeah. So that's underway. Will hopefully be a finished object that I may or may not have available to me to bring the next time.
But there'll be a picture of
There'll be a picture of her wearing it. Then we got to pick out buttons. Then we got to deal with the buttons. I don't know what we're going to do with that. But
only 2. There's only 2. So.
Only 2. She was very specific. I only want 2 buttons right in the middle. I was like, okay. That was before we were even looking at pictures. She was like, I was like, tell me what you want. She was going through. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat.
Right. Exactly. That's right. Yeah. All right. Anything else?
No, I think
in progress category.
It's more I'm trying to wrap my head around what I'm gonna cast on next. I kind of feel like I need to get this stuff finished.
That's what I want to get these little palette concerts done. There is still a blanket to be crocheted together that I have not had the energy to fuss with. I started hooking it together, and then there was the squares are not. They are the same size, obviously, but depending on which side you're hooking to which side, they're not aligned perfectly. And so the first one I did was fine, and the next one I did like 3 times, and I kept ending up with a big chunk in the end because I refused to like divide it in half again, and like hitch it together, and then so. I just need to get myself back in that headspace, which I have not been in for the last few days, weeks. Yeah. Last 3 weeks, as a matter of fact.
I want
it to get done, but
I want to knit another sweater for myself. I have a couple of ideas swirling around.
I have
but I have not.
Excuse me, the pile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got 18 whips to look at, and plus I have the Paul Klee and the other ones.
And then I come in here and get distracted with this, and
it's also spring. I guess I could take out the ones that are maybe more spring oriented. That might make me more motivated. But really, what I need is my house to be put. Hopefully, at the end of next week, everything can
be back.
Yeah. Right now, I don't have a washer and dryer, so that's extra helpful. And this week they're going to move the water heater out into the other room so they can repair the floor underneath it. So that'll be super fun.
So I'm going to go back to this kaleidoscope cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a lot of discussions about that here because it was 3 skeins of 3 different colors of worsted weight yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were having, is that enough yarn? Like, how is that enough yarn? How is only, trying to do the math. So I made it through the first group of first skein.
Mm-hmm.
And
first set of 3.
First set of 3. And where I was in the cardigan and knowing, I've knit a lot of cardigans. I was like, I'm not going to have enough yarn. And so.
Oh my God, today it's just.
No, scary. I know. It's being. Oh, wow. That one came back on.
Oh, she's coming to help us.
Yay.
Thank you, Bella.
I had one yarn, which I had in extra skeins of, right? Mm-hmm. The fiber stash. I had bought some Pearl and Post, which there was only 3 skeins, but I was trying to remember. Those were bigger skeins, so I wasn't running out of those as fast. And then I had bought some Malabrigo Rios in the Va colorway. And when I bought the 3 skeins, there were like 4 or 5 skeins still on the shelf. And so I was like, I had a panic situation where I was like,
given what's there right now, which is like 3 skeins.
I'm going to need more yarn. So I had bought that Va yarn on a Sunday. I had gotten the sweater to the point where I was having a little bit of a panic that I was going to run out of yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to go buy another skein from the store, and the bot was all gone. And I was like, oh no. Oh no. Because the thing with Malabrigo is you can't always get colors.
Mm-hmm. And
so I was like, what am I going to do now? So I started, searching on the internet, who's got this colorway? And I found it at a yarn shop. I literally panic bought it because I was like, because I could figure out the Pearl and Post was
maybe enough,
close enough. But the other 2, I was just like, oh God, I'm not going to have enough. And the sweater's going to look weird, or there's going to be a thing on the sleeve, or, whatever.
What was the 3rd yarn again?
Pearl and Post.
No, that one. And then the
Malabrigo and some fiber stash that I had.
And you had enough of that?
I had enough. I was like 5 skeins of that.
It was really just the Malabrigo that you were really close on.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because that one was running out first.
Because there's 3 of them I lose track of.
Yeah, the Malabrigo was the one that was running out first.
Yeah.
And so I panic bought another skein. Just one.
And you have what, 1.5 left?
Okay.
I'm going to guess. Let's take bets on how much she has left.
Okay. So,
clearly she has a whole skein plus.
Well, so this is what I have left of each of the 3rd skeins when I finish the sweater.
Oh.
That is a lot of yarn.
Yeah, I mean they're not.
Like, maybe 2/3. This is the Va, right? Clearly this is the one with the least amount of yarn here.
But did you weigh it? Is it like 50
Yet.
grams? Yeah, I mean, it's probably, yeah. Anyway, more than like a
whole another skein of this that I.
Well, it's a nice color, thank gosh.
It is a very nice color that I did not need to buy. Like
that temperature blanket, I bought 2 skeins of yarn. I used about 20 yards in each one of those 2.
And it was your experience of not being having to track down that yarn that I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get to the end of the
especially here where this is not a color that's easy to match.
No.
To get it close enough.
So I have a whole nother skein.
Use it for some black and white Halloween things.
Oh my God. There's actually a hat that I found that I'm going to make that I can use these 2 with. I'm not going to need to bust into that whole other skein.
The extra skein you can just put in a box and a little shadow box frame.
I feel like I'm going to need to.
I know.
In which I make
I literally used about, 50 yards of the...
No, I know.
Not even 25
I don't know
yards.
that I have ever panic bought yarn like that before.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, you had done the math. I mean...
I'd done the math. I'd followed the pattern.
And, I don't know where you were in the sweater when you decided.
I was not yet to dividing.
So you had 2 sleeves and the rest of the body.
Well, it's bottom up. So I had.
Oh, okay.
I
thing
had
going
all
on.
of this and 2 sleeves, and sleeves take more yarn than people think.
Well, it's like a whole front and half a back. Yeah.
So I was like here somewhere, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna have enough yarn.
Well, the good news is you can put your quantities into your Ravelry page, and other people who get to that moment will not panic because they can look and they'll know.
Maybe, I don't know, but anyway, that's what I have left of the third skeins of each of those, which is.
So now you have a skein of all of them left?
No.
You only had 3 of each. Okay.
No, I only had 3 of each.
It's just the one that was going fast. Yeah.
This one. So what happened? So these are, because they're not all the same yarn company, there's different lengths of all of these.
Yeah.
So because I'm holding them together, when I got to this one dropped off first, and so then I attached the new skein and kept going, and then added them as they came along. So I ran out of this one first, and that's what was making me panic. Is that I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it through the sleeves, and definitely this is the lightest skein out of all of these. That has the least. I'm
wondering too. It's interesting. Like it might be. As you're carrying 3 yarns, like how you would think that you would use the same of all of them, same amount or yardage of each of them, but you might not. No, I understand.
210 yards. This was like 230 yards or 218 yards, and this was like 220 yards. Like they had different yardages to them.
No, I get that. I was just thinking that you might use more or less of them, just depending on how they're carried.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see it would be like infinitesimal, but like enough to add up over time.
Yeah, no, that's probably true.
I don't even know.
Who knows?
Yeah. How does it look all together? Those 3 colors?
I think it looks nice.
Yeah. Good.
It's
marly.
Very marly.
But they're close enough that I would think it's probably
very marly.
And I think you were deciding whether to go lighter with this one to begin with. So
I was trying to decide what to do with this. This I had other options. This actually, this colorway and skeins I picked up after we had yarn cast last. It was not one of the ones I was showing, but I'm glad that I did, because I think this helps bridge. It lightens up both of these, but this color is in here.
Yeah.
And then this one just is kind of like, I'm the dark. But it's beautiful. It's like got blues and greens, and it's a very lovely yarn.
Which is good, because you got lots of it.
I have a whole other skein to do something with. Oh my gosh. Right. And I'm like emailing the yarn store that I bought it from, and I was like, can you send me your absolute darkest one that you have? Because it's not going to be a perfect match, but like Malabrigo can be super variable, and I didn't want one to show up that was super. Anyway, it was totally fine, and it didn't actually matter because I didn't use it, so it could have been whatever. But they were super nice.
You could sell it back to our store.
I wouldn't make any money.
I'm just kidding. Right.
Not that I pay full price.
Yeah, you have to pay shipping. Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm aware. It's so annoying when you have to buy yarn from another yarn store.
It's fine. It's totally fine. I just was concerned that that it did not seem to be too many places.
Yeah.
And knowing how hard it can be to get colorways at times, it's not like you can just go out and be like, Malabrigo, we want this one skein. I was like, anyway,
it's a funny story.
It is a funny story.
Oh dear.
Yep.
All right.
There'll be use for it. It'll be fine. Fine. Everything's fine. We have some other new, some restocks on some yarns that
we haven't carried this for a while, so
we're happy to have it back in.
Sylvan Spirit with
Green Mountain Spinnery,
50% wool, 50% tencel, in these lovely spring colors. So soft. The tencel makes it really soft. This is a lovely yarn.
Yep.
So that one we brought back in.
And that retails for $16.25 a skein, and these are 50 grams. 4-ounce skeins. They're
always a weird.
2-ounce skeins, 180 yards. 58 grams.
Right. That's the
58
thing.
grams.
They do the 2 and the 4 ounce rather than like the gram, the weight. And then the other one I think we had this one before too as
Cotton
well.
Comfort, yep.
Yeah, Cotton Comfort, which is also a DK weight. And we brought that one back in again with these fun colors.
Also $16.25 a skein.
And this one is 20% organic cotton, 80% wool, the same 50 gram, whatever, 2 ounces, 58 grams, 180 yards.
Yep.
As you all know, I'm a deep lover of cotton and wool mixed together.
Which you can wear all summer long.
Yeah,
so this
and
whole
it's really
sense that
soft.
You
so,
can't wear wool in the summer is not true.
These are both plump
Yes.
feeling yarns.
Very
And
nice.
squishy.
Yep.
So anyway, keep those on your list.
Yep.
Or think about that. What do we have? Let's see. Events.
We have a couple alongs going on right now. We have the Nelkin Hood along, which goes for a little bit longer. So
the 15th, is that what we decided?
15th, yep.
I got to get on it. I'm determined.
I know, right?
I can do this. I guess I won't be knitting on a hat. Got to knit on this week and get it done.
We also have the pressed flowers along, which is running till April 1st. So you've got more time, and any of the various there's cowls, there's shawls, there's cardigans, there's socks. Somebody knit socks. They were awesome looking.
Any garment.
They have a vest.
Could be adapted.
I might try the vest.
Oh, that vest! I forgot. I did work on that a little bit. I didn't bring it with me. Not the pressed flowers one, but my other vest.
Yeah.
And then I needed my bobbins, which are buried deep in some box in some room right now. So I gave up on that for a while. But.
Yeah. So those are going. We drew prizes for the other alongs, and then I think when we come back to Yarncast next, we'll have sorted out another. It's probably time for like a spring tea along of some sort.
Yeah, so be thinking a little bit ahead if
Yeah.
you'd like. I'm pretty sure that'll be on our list of things.
Yeah, because those are always fun to do and
inspirational at the beginning of the
seasonally
season.
appropriate. So
Yeah, and
but-
I actually, this is really,
yeah, it's really nice, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm just like,
all of these are nice actually. These are a little plumper. It's funny because they're all kind of technically the same. But as you all know, technically the same weight doesn't mean that they are.
No. Nope. So
yeah, and then we'll be starting to think.
Great Northern Yarn Haul, like summer
I'm
stuff,
gonna send an email
like
about that and get that
Yeah.
going.
yeah, it'll be here before we know it. Also, baseball will be here before I know it, which means lots of knitting time. Not the same as basketball, where there's just little wind.
Just started snowing outdoors.
Yeah, it's snowing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Sunday morning.
Woohoo!
Sunday morning snow.
Hoorah!
Yeah.
So, anyway,
All right.
I think that's
Probably-
about all I have these
Yeah.
days. I will. So I've been playing around with AI. I'm
Good
going.
for you.
I haven't decided if I want to put it on my personal page or if I want to put it on the store page. I feel like I need to clear it with Jen before I put it on the store page. So I asked AI. I took like our little graphic that we have been using to announce that a new yarn cast has been posted. And you can upload stuff into the AI, like ChatGPT and stuff. So I uploaded it and I was like, like what would you suggest to like redesign this to make it more, I don't know, appealing or whatever. And so
Appealing to who is the next question.
well, there's that. So I have like 4 or 5 different like graphics that it put together that is not our voice at all, not our brand. Like asked it to incorporate our logo. Like it did not incorporate they are a hot mess. Like there's misspellings in them. Like they are just a disaster. But I think it's funny. So I might upload it just like, hey, I've been playing around with AI. This is what AI thinks that we are. And like one of them, I was like, why does one of the people in the picture have blue hair? And they were like, well, we took like artistic license. It's just
which person has blue hair?
I don't know.
Oh.
Just one anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was they're funny.
I think that means that I have blue hair in this
they're
picture.
funny. Neither of them looked like us. They turned us like into cartoon
Avatar
people.
Yeah.
But neither of them looked like either. So anyway, they gave one of us blue hair. So that happened.
Yeah.
But I might do it on my personal page because it's so ridiculous.
No. That's fine. AI is, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
On the architecture, I just spent not all, but a lot of last weekend talking about it because on the architecture side, it's helpful and also deeply concerning at the same level. So there's a lot of licensure stealing and things. It's complicated from a regulatory perspective.
Well, I thought it would be interesting. Like I started with
for this fun stuff, it's different. But
I started with like asking questions like, what are the most popular knitting patterns right now? Because I was curious, like what would pop up and like the, because it's clearly not pulling information from Ravelry. It's pulling from public sources. So Ravelry is private and you have to log in to get in there. Because you can kind of match it with the hot right now a little bit sometimes to see what people are doing. And then, asking like, well, what yarns are people using with those patterns? And so I think
it's like tracking Amazon sales.
Right.
So it's probably who knows what yarn.
Right. Some of
that's wrong.
Some of it felt legitimate, right? Like there was.
Well, there's probably. I mean, Amazon sells everything, right? So there's good yarn mixed in Walmart, in Hobby Lobby, and whatever. All those stores.
I didn't see any of that yarn on.
Speaking of which, we probably should have a moment of silence for Joann's. I mean, it's really, it's just, good, bad, or indifferent. It's 80 years, and I mean, it's hard to imagine. It's in every community.
It's going to leave a giant hole. There are certain crafting supplies, sewing supplies, other supplies that I don't know where I'm going to buy.
Other than being forced to go online. Yeah, and even, although I will say this, not for nothing, there is a sewing store in Middlebury that my sister really likes. So maybe think about that. But I haven't been there. But she said they have nice fabric and they have smaller, obviously. So, but anyway, so there's some local.
My concern is like, if you're doing costumes or you're doing like, where are you going to get that fabric from? Because a quilt store or a sewing store like that is not going to carry all of that like novelty fabrics that people use for plays and musicals, and like where's all that going to come from? So, I don't know.
I don't sew anywhere near as much as I used to, but I'm still in Joann's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 times a year. You're in there more frequently than I am, obviously, but it's just heartbreaking. Yeah. And it's heartbreaking because I do think that it's a business. Well, it's a business that should have been saved. Like, I don't know what happened on the business side of things, but there's no reason on earth that they couldn't have figured out a way to save that business.
Nope.
So that's sad.
It is sad. We're losing ours here. And when they first announced that they were closing stores, our local one was not one of the ones that was on that list. And so I was like, oh, thank God. And then like a week or two later, it was like, we're closing all stores. And I was just like, what?
And, I'm sure some places will try and step up. Walmart may try and step up. There's going to be businesses that, and maybe that will be the solution here. But it's, anyway, not to bring us down. And we do have to hop.
We have to go because she's got to open the store. So. But on that cheery note,
well, luckily there's Outtakes.
You can get yarn here. We have lots of yarn that's comparable to what they sell, and we may
expand our offerings a tiny bit to try and compensate a little bit
for like this kind of stuff, which is fun and has its utility and use and price point. But anyway,
so we've been talking about it and obviously thinking about it. So.
Yeah. I mean, we opened a whole yarn store because, like, other
there was a brief moment earlier this week where, when we realized it was closing, I was like, "So, Ange, fabric?"
And I was like, "No, nope."
Should we take over next door? We'll just take over the whole block.
Take over the whole block. Right.
The answer is no at the moment.
So, well, we will see everybody soon. I think we are probably scheduled to be able to be back in 2 weeks.
I don't really know what date that is, but probably.
I feel like it's like the 23rd, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. It'll be 2 or 3 weeks, but
there's nothing immediately coming to mind that would
see
prevent
everybody soon.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and hanging out with us. We appreciate all of you.
Yeah.
We appreciate your support and shop local.
Happy crafting. Put your head down, pick up your needles or your hook.
Yep. If you need some inspiration.
Or your wheel or whatever it is you need. But,
check out our Instagram page if you're not local to us. If you're local to us, come see all the new shop samples that we have up. If you need some fiber inspiration. So come see what we got.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Bye. Well,
I just feel off.
There's all kinds of weird
Yeah, my brother-in-law
stuff going around.
came back from their vacation with like 103-degree fever.
Abigail had that before vacation. She was out like the whole week before break.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm the only one that hasn't managed to get something in my house. Like
I'll just breathe over here to the side, just in case there's something coming on.
I mean, John had the flu, so if I didn't get that,
your immune system is working hard right now.
Yeah, no, it tried. I had like a week there where I was like, ooh, and I was like pounding like emergency and like drinking lots of water and going to bed early and just trying to.
Yeah. I was surprised. I think I fell asleep by like 8:30. And I was wide awake. I mean, I woke up a couple times. I woke up at 1 and then again at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I mean, depending on which hour of clock you were looking at, because of course the time changed last night. But
yeah, stupid.
But even so, 11 hours of almost sleep.
Since we keep it real here, I'm not drinking. I haven't been drinking at all this year. And I'm convinced that the reason why I have not gotten sick with all the stuff that's been in my house is because I'm not drinking.
Yeah, I don't drink very much, only when I'm out with other people, which
is
rare. Sadly for me, it's rare. So.
And like,
so last weekend, because I was with my group of people, but even so, it's like 2 drinks, over the course of an
that's
evening.
really all I was doing.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I've just
but I don't drink during the week.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
But I just stopped completely.
Yeah.
And like brain fog, fatigue, like a lot of that stuff has gone away.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same.
I'm really angry. I'm really angry. I'm really angry about
that's the solution.
That is the solution.
Yeah. Well, it might mean also that you're sleeping better, and that is probably the reason why.
That is apparently the issue. Is like when women reach a certain age, alcohol disrupts your sleep.
When I was gone last weekend and I, was having a couple drinks, 3 nights in a row, I didn't sleep well the whole time I was gone.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's enough of a disruptor that even if you're just having a drink on the weekend, it like throws everything off. Like it was like just a couple of weeks of not drinking and I was like, oh my God. What?
I wish I could say the same. At my esteemed age, I sleep reasonably well compared to what other people talk about, but I just don't sleep hard like I used to anymore.
Yeah.
Last night I felt like I slept hard for 5 hours. But
so anyway,
I'm that's good.
Claiming that's the reason why I haven't gotten sick.
Could be.
I mean, also depresses your immune system, like all this stuff. So I don't know.
And in fairness, I don't generally get sick. There's nothing for me to like.
Knock on there. No.
Also, I live by myself and I don't have children.
Right.
I'm exposed to a workplace of people that have children. So there's that.
Yeah.
But it's different than being in the house with them every day.
Yeah. Well, like I said, John had the flu. Like it took him down for like a week.
Yeah.
I slept with one of my kids for like a week because when it became clear that he was not doing well, I was like, I'm peacing out.
Aren't you nice that you gave him the bed? My sister kicks my brother-in-law down into the basement.
There's no place else for him to go.
Oh, there's a basement guest room. Yeah.
Yeah. My Abigail has bunk beds, so she got...
I think he sleeps on the TV room couch, actually.
Moved to the top floor, top bunk, and I slept on the bottom bunk. And but yeah, everybody's had it. William's had it. Something. Abigail had.
I don't know. Any child that's escaped it, from what I can tell, it seems like everyone at work is battling.
Yeah,
their kids have something.
William was only out for a couple of days, and he had something totally different than like what everybody else had.
There's like 4 things that I've heard of that people seem to have. Yeah. So it's.
I think we've had 3 of them in my house. Yeah. So. Nobody's had norovirus yet, thank God.
Well, keep your fingers crossed.
But there's still time. Still time.
I think we're actually over the edge because the weather has shifted, and although, and the days are getting longer, and
people are spending more time outside, and
also the viruses have a shelf life; they start to die off after a while. So did you do something fun over break or no?
We went to Boston for
that's right.
3 days.
Mhm.
I didn't post a huge. I posted.
Yeah.
I made like one post about it when
I
we went
saw.
to the
I remember
basketball
now.
game,
Yeah.
and then I didn't post like the rest of the time we were there.
Mm-hmm.
Not because we weren't doing things. I don't know. I think I was just.
You just get busy.
I was in the moment and not really on my phone a huge amount and trying to just enjoy things. So we went to a Boston College women's basketball game, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to. I think it's really important to expose both of my kids to a wide variety of sports. We watch a lot of sports. We tend to watch a lot of men's sports. And so I've been trying to get us to more women's sports
UConn
things.
women, that's where you need to go.
No, I know.
Those tickets are impossible.
No, I know. These tickets were not that
Not
expensive.
that BC wouldn't be good. I mean, was it BU or BC?
BC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a Division I.
Yeah.
Like,
They play UConn.
they do play UConn. They were not playing UConn. They were playing Southern Methodist
It
University.
doesn't matter. It's all good.
It was still a fun game.
Yeah.
We had really good seats. Both of my kids enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's good basketball.
Yeah.
And so we started our trip with that. That was really fun. We went to the aquarium. We went to the Museum of Science. I will tell you, there was a lot of complaining about going to the Museum of Science, and then
It's a
huge
great
amount
place.
of engagement once we got there.
It's a good museum. Yeah.
There's so much hands-on stuff at that museum,
Yeah,
like
it's really
more
good.
so than any other science museum
Yeah.
I've been to, and hands-on stuff for like all different ages and interests.
I love that kind of stuff. I don't care how old I am.
Yeah, no,
I will always love it. When I'm 82, I'll probably still love it.
Yeah. And we, took advantage of the fact that we were in the city. Like, can I just say,
Boston's a great city.
it is so convenient to go onto like the Uber app and just be like, I need a ride. And like a car shows up in like a minute or less. And everybody gets in the car. You go where you need to go. Don't have to drive.
And Boston is tough because it's all one-way streets and they're all going the wrong way. And it's...
And we were staying in the seaport, and so we weren't somewhere super near like public transportation.
Yeah.
And so
that's where there's a good museums over there. And that whole area has
built
been
up.
so built up.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
Yeah. There's tons of restaurants and like neat things. It doesn't feel as walkable as if you're staying like right down in the mix of things, but
you can get to the north end. You can get to other places fairly easily. Yeah.
And
it's really pretty out there.
I know. And with like the Uber stuff, it just it blew my mind, right? Just like
and to not have to drive yourself around Boston.
Well, I was doing the math, and
it's not worth it.
It's not worth it because you have to pay to park
every time you move your car.
Every time you move your car, the parking would have been just as much as the Uber.
Yeah.
Then you also have to drive, which Boston's a nightmare to drive in.
I usually go in and out, and I try to not.
Yeah, that's what we did. We go
try
in.
to use my feet otherwise.
You park your car. You valet park your car at the hotel, and you're like, I don't want to see my car again until we leave. Right. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
We went to a conveyor belt sushi restaurant. Have you ever been to one of these?
No, but I've heard about them. Yeah, it all comes. You just pick what you want.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they figure out what you bought.
Well, so everything on the conveyor belt's the same price.
Oh, okay.
So when you pull a plate off, it registers it when there's a slot where you drop the empty plate into.
Oh, okay.
And so it counts the plates.
That's cool.
But you can also order off a menu, and there's a separate conveyor belt
for the specials.
that sends it directly to your table. It was amazing. We were there with some friends of ours who have kids that are roughly the same age as us. So we had an adults table and we had a kids table. No, they're all good. Those kids packed away some sushi over there.
I'm sure they did. Yes.
We're like, we can just pull whatever we want off. They have like a little robot that brings your drinks out. Like it's just. Yeah. It's something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I have never eaten that much sushi at one time.
Well, it's hard when it's just moseying
you're
its
like,
way
ooh,
right
that
past
looks
you.
good.
Right.
That looks good.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was fun. And there was lots of pool time. Like, I had one kid that was like, pool! That's all she wanted to do. Let's go to the pool. which is why we tend to book hotels that have pools.
Yeah.
Unless we're somewhere in New York City, I'm looking at you, that doesn't have indoor pools.
Well,
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But also, do you think you could figure out that engineering by now?
The land is scarce. Yes. Yeah.
There's
a lot of pre-existing conditions.
Right. There are a number of New York City hotels that have pools that are open in the summer because they're on the roof.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
doesn't do much good in the winter. But anyway, it's fine. So that we did that. My kids had like 10 days off. Like I'm still
because they were straight through to
still really angry about this. So it was a full week,
plus
and then it was Monday and Tuesday of the following week. I don't know
town meeting day.
Yeah, I don't know who thought that was a good idea or why.
It always used to be that way. In all honesty, when I was a child, 100,000 years ago, that's what we always used to do.
So our district, for as long as we've been there, which now is like 9 years, has had February break the week of President's Day week.
Actually, that's true. We did used
always
to do that,
the week
so maybe
before. So
you have a week in between.
Right. So as working adults, you're really only grappling with 4 days of a week and vacation time. And so for unexplainable, actually, I think I know why they did it, but they moved it to the other week, which is where most of the Chittenden County schools have. And then they added the Monday and Tuesday. I've seen the calendar for next year. It is not also the Monday and Tuesday, so my guess is the district got yelled at by a whole bunch of really angry parents.
Yeah, especially because there still is actual town meeting, but it doesn't happen as much.
It's never on Tuesdays.
Well, I was going to say it doesn't happen as much on Tuesdays in Chittenden County anymore. So
even ours,
or Addison County,
ours got moved to the Saturday,
Yeah.
which is also, don't get me started about that. That's rude and
well, except for that you could choose to go to it because it's available. Like during the week, it's impossible for me to ever go.
It's easier for me to go because my kids are in school.
Yeah,
I mean they're old enough now that they can stay home with each other and not, but. When they moved it to Saturday and they don't offer childcare, there's no way for anybody with school-age kids to go. Yeah. Younger school-age kids.
Yeah.
Or one parent has to go, which feels rude. But anyway, so for those of you who aren't here in Vermont, we still have town meeting day, which means in March, the first Tuesday of March is always a voting day, and it's where all of the local elections happen for like local government, for local budgets, for school budgets.
When the primaries are happening, that's when it happens.
Yeah, so it's a big deal. My town still does a voice vote at town meeting for the town budget, for some other monetary allocations. School budgets by Australian ballot, elections are by Australian ballot for like select board and school board and things like that. But there's like actual town business that's transacted and voted on by voice vote at town meeting, and it's sort of an opportunity for people to come in and give kudos or air their grievances or make complaints about the road crew, share their thoughts, ask a bunch of questions about the budget when it's clear they don't understand how numbers work. Like it's,
there's no judgment over here in this corner.
There's lots of judgment right here having to sit through. I'm just going to say this. Persons of the male persuasion. Asking questions that they clearly don't understand, numbers. A female accountant got up and explained it to them, and they didn't listen, and then continued to ask the same question. I have issues with that.
I would have issues with that as well. Pay attention, people. It's not that hard. Right. Yeah.
It's fine.
I did not go to town meeting this year. I kind of forgot about it, actually. I don't know when it was, actually. So it would have been either this Saturday, yesterday, or the week before.
No, it would have been the week before. Town meeting was
gone.
Tuesday.
I know, but I guess it's before instead of after. Yeah. I was gone, so that's my excuse.
I think you guys are on Saturday.
No, we were definitely on Saturdays, but I don't remember seeing much about it. There wasn't much on Front Porch.
There wasn't much on ours either.
I don't know that there was much of an agenda. Maybe that's why. But
anyway,
and I didn't get like 1,000 things in the mail for school budgets and all kinds of other stuff, which I guess they just assume you'll go online and find it now. I don't know.
We got like a 1-page flyer about our school budget, and then our like town report came.
I don't remember seeing any of that, but honestly, my house is still a little in chaos, and I spent 4 hours yesterday going through the accumulated mail of the last 3 to 4 months. I do deal with things that are important.
Right. But then there's the pile of like...
These are like things I need to look at eventually.
But not right
maybe
now.
By tax day.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing yesterday, was getting ready to upload all my stuff to my account. And of course, when my mom was sick, I was ignoring everything, including like, oh, they did send me a form to register my car. They did send me, oh, look, here it is, buried underneath all this stuff. So that was an hour's worth of my 3 hours yesterday. Yeah. But man, it is, I don't want to complain. I have someone else do my taxes for me because my business thing is complicated now. Yeah. But, so I can't complain about that. And it is fairly straightforward. You just upload all the stuff to some site and they take it from there with questions. But it used to be that everything came in the mail and you had to like scan it.
Half of it's electronic now.
Oh my God. Like trying to remember
where you need to go to pull tax documents from which accounts and
some of them are there, some of them are not there, because my 401k, for example, didn't have a tax document.
The only thing that saves me is that the place where my accountant has us upload documents to has like the list like of the stuff that you did the last year. Yes. And so that like triggers like, oh, I need to go pull this one, or I need to go log in here and pull that one. Otherwise I'd be like, I don't know.
And I'm pretty good about if I have a running folder that I save, like if I donate to something, I save that, or I just flag it and then I go back through my email for the last year. And pull all those receipts. So anyway, it takes real time.
I try to PDF it into a folder, because that's literally faster.
The end of last year was complicated, obviously, and it just and I sort of lost my way. But man, and I still have 2 things to go find that I didn't remember to go find beforehand, because I tried to put everything in there so I could upload it all at once.
And some of it for like the donation stuff, at some point I'm like,
whatever.
I don't even care. This donation was not big enough to warrant the amount of time I'm wasting.
Only if I can find a receipt for it do I put it in there. And this year in particular, I have a lot of capital gains to pay on my other business, so I need everything I can find.
All the things you can get. So you were not mad about your K1 from the store.
No, I was not. I have 3 K1s, as it turns out this year.
I do too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, when you own multiple businesses,
next year I guess I'll
exciting.
have
4.
No, I'll have 3 because one of the ones is falling off.
But you won't have a K1 from that per se. It'll be like a Schedule C on your personal taxes, unless you're paying yourself wages or taking draws from it. So,
well, I will. There'll be anyway.
Figure that out. Sorry, but single member LLC is set up a little differently. Usually. Yeah.
Anyway, it was.
There's light.
It's what I spent, and then I went out to lunch with my family to post-birthday celebration.
That's right. Happy birthday!
Right, last weekend. It's over.
Your birthday was on town meeting day, just so you know.
It was on Saturday. Yes, right.
Or it was on the town meeting day, not the voting day, but the meeting day. Yeah.
The only good thing is I like to celebrate my birthday as much as the next person, which is like kind of sort of. And I like to have cake and whatever else. So I was with a bunch of people who some of them knew. So word got around, which was nice. So there was lots of wishes. So it was fine. Yes. And then, but on my way I got into my rental car, because I still have a rental car. And as I was driving there, the check engine light came on.
Of course it did.
I was like, oh my.
Of course it did.
I'm going to not use the words that I used, because this is a family show.
I'm sure that it's similar to ones I would have used in that situation.
So I go and have lunch, and I go up to Enterprise. And of course, the local one is closed at noontime, I guess, maybe. So then from there in the parking lot, I called 1-800 Enterprise people. Oh, my God.
What the heck?
And I forget exactly.
Is it standing up? Oh no. What? All right. Just keep talking. I'm going to walk around here.
So I called them, and of course, it was actually fine. I just had to go to the airport. But, it's fine. They turned the car around. I got a different car. It's fine. But it's just a hassle. It took an hour and a half out of my afternoon.
Right, that took
so
time.
I came back and I did nothing. I had a snack and went to bed at 7 o'clock.
I
just was like, can't deal with this stuff anymore.
No, I hear you. I had 2 days this last week where I had to go to Rutland for court. And like Monday was a really rough hearing for lots of different reasons. And I came home and my kids were still...
Someone with a key
off of school
is here, I'm assuming.
But I just like came home and just took a half afternoon off because I was like, what? It's Bella.
Yeah.
So
yeah. On the other hand, this week, and not store news, but in my life news.
Yeah.
I went to 2 different shearings.
I saw that. That looked fun.
180 pounds of wool between the 2 of them.
Yay!
They were at the mill with our friend Liz.
Awesome.
So that was exciting. Yes. And also exhausting. Those 2 days were tiring.
I bet.
Like you wouldn't realize, like it doesn't seem like you're doing, well, Monday in particular was so cold.
Yes.
It was below 0 when I got there. And I was like, we can't be shearing these sheep in this weather. Yep. And then it turned out she had pushed it back an hour and a half, which I was out. It's 2 hours from my house to be there. And so I was already on the way. So I helped her, get ready and do stuff. But I mean, it warmed up to like maybe a few degrees above 0 on Monday. Thank God the sun was out, but my hands were so cold, I can't even tell you. Because it was not a heated barn. Of course, they're not heated. So anyway, as a result, Wednesday was much more enjoyable because it had moved up into the 40s.
40 or 50 that day.
It was raining, but at least we were under cover. So the sheep were a little dirtier. But but both of them, it was good. So there is lots of beautiful wool being spun into yarn. I'm trying to find the picture.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
It's hard to... it's exciting. So that's underway, and I have successfully updated the Bobolink Yarns Instagram and Facebook pages, created a Facebook page. I still have to sort out the website, but that's another conversation. So
nice.
Nice. So but it's exhausting. So both days, 9,000 steps just from like standing around, lifting it, skirting it. But there's 40 or 50 sheep in each flock, so it was amazing. It's crazy. Yeah. So off to the races.
Should we pause real quick to find out?
We can.
What's going on? All right, I'm going to turn this off.
Yeah.